Hi, my lovelies. Happy Thursday. I am coming to you with absolutely zero filter today. I'm always so self-conscious about all my freckles, but we're coming to you all freckly today. Let's dose, and I want to talk to you guys about a couple of things. One of them is a very common misconception about methadone.
I made my toothbrush a little bit warm.
You made your toothbrush warm? Hold on a second. You got the sharp tweezers. My little 7-year-old boy is like a miniature pyro. What he was talking about, he stuck his toothbrush in the candle. He tried to. Thankfully, Daddy helped with that one, but he's so curious about fire, like way too curious. Cheers. Oh my God. Water. Okay, so 2 quick things I want to talk about. One is I'm trying a new lip kit that I got off TikTok shop. That little ad sold me. This is the new lip kit, and I'm so obsessed. So obsessed. I love this color. So incredibly obsessed. And I think it's so perfect with this outfit, which I totally have. These sandals are literally from early Y2K days. That's why there's no sparkles left. But they're so hot. So obsessed. And then the other thing I want to talk about is a little more serious. It's very, very common misconception with methadone, any kind of maintenance type medication like that, is that, and I would have made fun of my damn self back in active addiction, but people think that if you're on maintenance that you are constantly out of pain, that if you're taking methadone maintenance you can't experience pain, and that is not true. The other misconception is that stuff like this right here is a dual pain reliever, and it's acetaminophen and ibuprofen, and that's the part I would have made fun of myself if I had even tried to take something like that back in active addiction. I was convinced, I was one of those people that was like, this stuff doesn't work. We do this shit, it doesn't work. Not true. I got up today. I'm going to use myself as the perfect example. I got up today and I was in so much pain. And sometimes, we wake up in pain or we experience pain. I get migraines occasionally, and I get a migraine. I do this because it works. And I had to test the theory. I had to prove my own silly self wrong, because I was one of those people that thought that oh, if I'm on, because everybody said that to me, and I'm on methadone, so that's not gonna touch my pain, and I really believe that, and I know a lot of people do, and so I want to debunk that myth that when I took this, I mean, obviously it's not the same as what I used to do. It's not this instant rush gratification of warmth and nothingness. It takes a good half hour to hour to really take away my pain, but it works. And that is something I am learning in my recovery, is patience. Because just because it doesn't hit you in a single second in a rush doesn't mean that it doesn't work. And that's the whole idea behind stuff like this, behind things like vitamins and supplements, is it's not going to be instant gratification, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't work just as well for what it is. I'm not in pain anymore, and like I said, it took a good hour or so before it fully worked. But after maybe 20 minutes after I took it, I started to feel a very slight feeling of like pain going away, like pain subsiding. And so I just want to like throw that out there and use like my own self as like a really good example of the fact that just because someone is on a maintenance medication doesn't mean they just exist in like nothingness and no pain. That is like our baseline. This is like my normal. So if I experience a migraine or something like that, I still need basic over-the-counter pain meds, and they work just like they would for anyone else. And I know that that's that whole idea behind like, oh, if you're on maintenance and you get like surgery, you don't need pain meds. No, not true. Take Tylenol. You know, I mean, if you have like major surgery, and then that's like between you and your doctor, like if you want to go with like pain meds. And I'm somebody who did, like I was given hydrocodone when I had all of my teeth taken out, and then in the same surgery, all of the implants like put in and a whole new set of teeth. And then I had to go through like healing, and I started with like a temporary set, and I ended up with these. But I utilized hydrocodone for like the worst of it, and I honestly needed it more for when I had like a infection that was ultimately like ending me slowly. I had an infection like throughout my whole mouth, and it was like affecting like my whole head, and I would like press myself up against a wall because the cool of it like helped. Those are times when, you know, I would start with something like this. But it is such a myth that because we're on maintenance meds that we don't experience pain, or that something like this wouldn't work, because it totally does. And so many people believe that misconception, just like I did. But because we don't get high, we don't feel like euphoria or anything, we're not like floating in a cloud, we're just normal. This is our normal. I feel normal all the time. And if I'm in pain and I take Tylenol, it helps. But that's where the patience comes in. Like, we have to be patient. And if you're trying like supplements or something, give it a month or two. You know, it is, everything in recovery is about learning how to let go of instant gratification and learn about patience and putting in effort or putting in time to see results. And if you can get into that new kind of mindset, it is so freeing. And I feel like that's one of the most important things I have learned for like my whole recovery, is letting go of being like, oh my God, something hurts, or something's hard, or something makes me sad, and just like, boom, you know, taking that away. That's not life. That's not a functional existence. We have to sit with our feelings and think wholeheartedly about a real solution, not just instantly numbing everything. We have to be patient and find real solutions, real ways to deal with real problems and actually fix them, or just sit with feelings. And that is hard. I am not gonna lie, that is hard, but it is so important. And it's such a huge part of recovery. And so I think it's very important to talk about, because that was one of the hardest things to let go of. And like, I'm still learning, because sometimes when something's hard or something hurts, like my initial feeling is like I need to make it go away. And no, I don't reach for something anymore, but that feeling is still there of like, make it go away, you know, like. And learning patience is like a whole kind of thing. But see, that's the long term, playing the long game now. And because instant gratification doesn't work long term. It maybe makes it go away in that second, but it's right there when you wake up. So it's a whole process, and recovery is beautiful, and the long term of it is so much better. So anyways, I ran out of time. I love you guys. Happy Thursday. Mwah.